Well, what does Maxine Waters know that the rest of us don't know? Because right now she is out on her little mainstream media news networks issuing threats about millions of what could happen to millions of people. You guys are going to be floored. And what's interesting is the fact of what happened just before she made that statement that I believe tells us everything that we need to know. What am I talking about? Well, take a look. I'm going to start first with what happened just before she made her announcement. And this is on foxnews.com. And it's Biden's DHS document suggested Trump supporters, military, and religious people are likely violent terror threats. That means that they have targeted specifically you and I because we're Trump supporters and, potentially also religious, right? A DHS advisory board suggested that supporters of the former president, Donald Trump, as well as those who served in the military or are religious, have a greater possibility of posing domestic terrorism risk, according to internal files obtained by AFL, America First Legal. Named the Homeland Intelligence Experts Group, the now disbanded board was created in September 2023 to provide DHS with an expert analysis on subjects like terrorism and the trafficking of certain controlled substances like fentanyl. Now, the panel obviously includes two famous names, Mr. Clapper and John Brennan, two people, by the way, which were never on our side. Now, here's the actual document itself, because you guys, I want you to see the actual statement. This was published by American First Legal on their X account. Internal documents from Biden DHS show their plan to target Trump supporters as domestic terrorists. The Brennan Clapper Intel Group discussed how most of the domestic terrorism threat now comes from supporters of the former president, which is complete and bogus. It's a complete lie. That's not even true, right? But you can see in the highlighted section here, it seems that most of the domestic terrorism threat now comes from supporters of the former president. It is not like you want a political advantage, but people have attacked the government and its institution for the last 6 years. Now, the good news is I have brought this up before and the thing has been completely disbanded, but it's no secret that the FBI, the DHS, and all these three-letter agencies have been really gung-ho about labeling Trump supporters and us domestic terrorists. Now, what makes this even more terrifying is what Maxine Waters came out and said immediately following that. But before I give you that, just a quick break from my sponsor. There is bad turbulence ahead, and the economy is a minefield. In fact, the economy is ready to detonate and destroy the wealth and the dreams of the unprepared. Bank failures, de-dollaration, and debt are all happening. But the good news is there is a beacon of hope. Kevin Sorbo, the legendary Christian actor who played the famous character known as Hercules, is an activist for We the People. With Kevin Sorbo's Economic Crisis Toolkit, crafted in partnership with Noble Gold, Sorbo is now on a mission to help everyday Americans overcome this financial nightmare. Now, this shock-proof toolkit can be yours by going to noblegoldinvestments.com. In fact, this shock-proof toolkit is going to be your compass to navigate the coming turmoil. Not only that, but it includes recession-proof strategies, inflation-busting techniques, and opportunity-seizing skills to help you not just survive what is coming, but thrive what's ahead. And all you got to do to check it out is click on Sorbo's Masterclass right here. It'll take you to another page there, and you can claim your wealth protection by filling in this information and click enroll now to check it out today. Now, remember, the crisis threatens to destroy and derail your financial future, but you can easily stay on track and in control of what is coming by checking it out there. And the best part is you're going to emerge even stronger than before. Come get the shield of knowledge that is yours, and it's absolutely free by going to that site. Again, that's noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. But enlist in Sorbo's wealthy warrior ranks today and arm yourselves with the tools and tactics that you need to stay ahead of what is coming. And by the way, there is always a risk of investment and there is never a guarantee. But check it out by going directly to noblegoldinvestments.com or click the link in the description box below. If you're on that cell phone, you can also click the more button. All right, back to the broadcast. Well, I just revealed Joe Biden's plan to mobilize the United States government against Donald Trump and his supporters. And he has upped that attack, coincidentally, just before our United States election. This guy is going to ruin our country. And I do honestly believe that we're going to see more conservatives jailed as long as this man stays in charge. So let's hope and pray that we've got a better outcome in 2024 with this election. But with that, Mad Maxine Waters has come out and issued a rather threatening alert to millions of people. Take a listen.
How concerned are you, Congresswoman, about your safety if Donald Trump is reelected?
Well, I'm very concerned, not only about my safety and not only about the safety of members of Congress. I'm concerned about the safety of so many people in this country, particularly people of color. Trump has said that if he does not win, it's going to be fraud. And because it's going to be fraud, there's going to be blood in the streets. He threatens about a civil war, and he threatens there's going to be violence. So I say all of this talk is motivational with many of those who are racist, who are sitting at home listening to him, and they're taking him up on his threats even before the elections take place. And so it's about thousands, maybe millions of people, being threatened and being at risk because of Donald Trump and his desire to wreak revenge on anything and everybody.
Rather odd coming from Mad Maxine, the very woman who, by the way, that told an entire crowd of people to get Trump supporters and those campaign Trump people out of their restaurants, kick them out, get them out. She also threatened to punch Donald Trump as well. That's another statement. That's not to mention this lady has been saying threatening things like what you just heard. I mean, this is insane. She's saying that Donald Trump threatens to bring blood in the streets and start a civil war. This is what he's talking about. Millions of people are at risk. Colored people are going to be at risk and all of this. It's BS. It's a straight up lie from the very mouth of the person who has fomented and talked about actual violence. I'm surprised she's not actually in jail. Right, but she's above the law, like a lot of these Democrats. In fact, she was out there just a couple months ago saying this. Take a look. This is just a reminder here. Fox News, Representative Maxine Waters, Trump supporters are training up in the hills for election attacks. Really? I mean, what does she know? What does she know that we don't? Are they planning something? Is there some false flag ahead of some sort? Because it's definitely not us doing the things she's claiming. But here's what she said specifically. I want to know about all those right-wing organizations that Trump is connected with who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting what communities they are going to attack. We need to know now, given that he is telling us there is going to be violence if he loses. We need to know what his plan is and how we are going to be protected, she says. Again, it's just not true. It is fake news, right? We're not up there. I don't know of anybody up there planning anything like that. But hey, there's lots of radical leftist groups out there doing pretty questionable things. And you know what? Excuse me. Sorry. But Maxine Waters, right? She came on the video that I just showed you, and she talked about an attack against her. Some guy was threatening to kill her or do something to her family, and that guy needs to be put in jail. Those are disgusting and horrible people. I don't care. You don't threaten anybody's life, right? And I'm sorry Maxine Waters had to go through that. I really am. But you know what? Pretty much every congressional leader, anybody in a big public place gets gets threats all the time. None of them. I hate her with a passion, but nobody should be hurling that kind of violent threats against her and her family. I'm against that. I'm against all violence. And that's the thing, though. She's acting as if it doesn't happen to, it happens to a lot of congressional leaders. People have come out and done that against Marjorie Taylor Greene and people on both sides of the fence. But the bottom line here, she's out there fomenting fake news, acting as if there's going to be some civil war caused by the Trump people if he gets in charge. This is outright crazy talk from a crazy lady. And she is dropping this right after it came out that the FBI is basically calling Trump supporters terrorists and they're the biggest domestic terrorist threat. when there's no actual evidence to back that up. Then we've got this kind of stuff happening, which I've shared on Restricted Republic before. Hopefully you guys are there. Mediaite, Rachel Maddow concerned Trump will put her in a camp. Yes, I'm worried. And then we also have Business Insider AOC. She wouldn't be surprised if Trump threw her in jail. Well, if you did some kind of crime, AOC, then I would worry. But if there's no crime that you have committed, you've got nothing to worry about. Look what he did the first term, right? Meanwhile, what is really going on? They're jailing their opposition. That's what's happening. I don't see Democrats going to jail, especially in this administration. Here we have 11 Trump associates now have been charged with crimes. We have Steve Bannon, Tom Barrack, Elliot Brody, Michael Cohen, I don't care about that guy, Michael Flynn, Rick Gates, Paul Manafort, George Nader, George Papadopoulos, Roger Stone, Alan Weissenberg. Then we also have Trump and 18 allies charged in Fulton County grand jury indictment. We have all of that. And then here we have New York Times, Trump legal advisors plead not guilty in Arizona for an election case. All these Trump people. And then, of course, everything that happened to Trump supporters, J6. We have ABC News 3 years later, January 6th, by the numbers, more than 1,200 charged, 460 imprisoned. And we're not talking about short times here. We're talking about extreme things that they have done to these people when their side hasn't even had an inch of what they have charged January 6 people with. Yet, Joe Biden's out there and his people are out there acting as if Donald Trump and his supporters are going to be the tyrants. It's just fake news. It is absolutely fake news. And you know what, Donald Trump, we're going to get to hear the debate between Biden and Donald Trump. I don't know what they're going to dope up Joe Biden with, but I'm sure he's going to be ready to go, right? He's going to be on something, I'm sure. That's my non-medical opinion. But anyway, we can't just assume, Donald Trump's going to win on this thing. And that's where I think our side really gets kicked in the butt. But Donald Trump does need to make some actions. Dan Bongino mentioned earlier in his report that he should bring some props, and the props should be the check. Right, the check to Joe Biden himself regarding this whole, just to expose the lies, and I think the other things he could absolutely bring up is how uneven the justice system has been under Joe Biden. But anyway, wanted to bring all of that to you. These people are spreading crazy rumors about us. Please don't buy into that fake propaganda. And I know you guys aren't, but we need to share this video, tell people the truth about what's going on. She has been the one saying very radical things for a very long time. And now she's out there acting as if she's never said anything like that. And it's all coming from the other side. It's just, they're crooked to the core. But anyhow, I love you all. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.